There's a classic Alan Watts video that just came to mind. Which, I'll let him say what I want to say, because he has a good way of saying things. Classic, Alan Watts, classic. Yeah. Alan Watts is what gets people in to spirituality. Just gotta find it. Gotta find the right one. Here it is.
I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is, who am I? What do you mean? What do you feel?
Yeah, that's it. If we're honest with ourselves, the most fascinating problem there is, the most fascinating thing there is to ask is the question, who am I? Or what am I? Because we think that the world exists and we are in the world. But as a matter of direct experience, there is no evidence for that. As a matter of direct experience, who you are is foundational and fundamental to existence. If you weren't here, nothing would be here. Right? Instead of asking questions like, what is the universe? What is existence? What is God? How is all this created? That's going out there trying to look for answers with the pretty supposition, if that's even a word, with the belief that there is an outside world. What's the word? Presupposition, is that a word? It is a word. Presumption, assumption, presupposition, that a world exists. Independent from us, right? But, it's very clear to see that when you die, there is no world anymore. You see, who you are, in a sense, the world is dependent upon your existence. Without your existence, there would be no world. It sounds very solipsistic, but solipsism is just an idea. And this is about trying to find out what the truth is, asking, what am I? What actually am I? Because without I, there is no world. Without me, there's no world. Without consciousness, which is really what I'm referring to when I say I, which is what everyone's referring to when they say me, I, they're referring to this consciousness, this aliveness. Even if they don't recognize it, they're referring to existence itself, right? Their own aliveness, the fact that they know that they exist, the self-consciousness. And so, without me, there's nothing to experience. When I die, the world dies with me, as a matter of direct experience. I'm not saying that's what happens for sure. I'm not saying that when you die, the whole world is gone, the whole world ceases to exist. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that's true as a matter of direct experience. When you die, experience shuts off. There is no more experience. which means the whole world, including everything's gone, right? So who you are is integral to existence. And, because you could basically say that who you are is existence at the deepest level. The deepest level, who you are is aliveness. I don't know, but yeah, people think this is a kind of trivial question. The question, who am I? People think it's like, what do you mean, who am I? It's the most obvious thing in the world. Which is, of course, it's not the most obvious thing in the world, If you think the question, who am I, is trivial and stupid to even ask because it's so obvious, then that just goes to show how many assumptions are operating within you. How many assumptions you have about who you are and what the world is, without even questioning any of that, right? You just presuppose that everything is the way you believe it to be, and you don't question what you believe things to be. But yeah, like Alan Watts says, if we're honest with ourselves, we say the most fascinating problem, if we're honest with ourselves, the most fascinating problem in the world is the question, who am I? It's not about, what is the world, what's reality, what's the universe. I mean, ultimately, it's the same thing. Like, going out and out and out and out is the same as going in and in and in and in. Right? Asking, what is reality, is the same thing as asking, who am I? What is reality? You're going out and out and out and out. And, yeah, you'll find the same thing, but, yeah, it's like that classic Rumi quote where it's like, I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. You see, because when we ask the question, what am I? The only thing that we have is movement, energy. All we have is, whatever you want to call it, like sensations or phenomena or energy. Like, all we have is movement, is appearance. All we have is appearance. And there really is no self in any of the appearances. So you're asking yourself, who am I? And, it's... I think a lot of people, when they first ask, who am I? Self-inquiry. When they first try and do self-inquiry, they're thinking about it. They're intellectualizing about, who am I? Who actually am I? And they're going off into thought structures, into stories, into mental fabrications. And they're going off into, stories upon stories, who am I? Okay, well, who am I? Well, my name is Jasper. Who am I? Well, it's like who am I? The question "Who am I?" is like a Zen koan. It's not supposed to be answered with the mind. It's supposed to be a direction. It's supposed to be a way for you to tune into what's here and now. Right. You see, asking yourself, "Who am I?" You don't need to go into your mind to ask that. You don't need to think about that. You don't need thoughts to find out who you are, because you're here right now. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to find out who you are in the content of your mind. Not going to find out who you are philosophizing about all sorts of shit. You're here now, and if you are actually earnest about finding out what you are, then you have to be curious about what's occurring in the very moment, in the present moment. Because you're here now, right? You're not in the past or in the future. You're here now. And what we like to do is make a lot of mental interpretations of what is here and now. And so we may even be present and be like, "Oh, I found out who I am." And we have an idea like, "Oh, I am consciousness," or "I am existence itself." And then we hold on to that idea. But you see, that's a mental interpretation. And what we're doing there is we're getting trapped in the past. Then we're hanging on to that idea like, "Oh, I'm awareness, I'm consciousness." And then we hold on to that idea, and then we believe in that mental story. It's like, "Oh yeah, who am I?" Or "I'm consciousness, obviously." But that's not the point of it. It's besides the point. Finding out the answer to the question, "What am I?" is besides the point. It's supposed to bring you back, center yourself in the here and now. Any mental interpretation you have, any thought you have, any concept you have about who you are is not who you are. Anything that the mind comes up with, that's not it. Keep going, keep going. So yeah, like I said, all we have is sensations arising and passing away on their own accord. Which includes every mental image, every mental word, every intention, every desire and fear, every decision and choice, everything is arising on its own. Interdependently arising with everything else. It's like you have no choice, but who is the you that has no choice? Who is the you? It's like you don't have free will, but it's like, who is the you that doesn't have free will? That again is a thought arising on its own. everything is made up of consciousness, or aliveness, or existence. Everything's made up of that. Which is really tricky to see, because usually, it's very easy to get stuck in what's known as the witness, the watcher, the observer. It's very easy to get stuck there, because with that, it's like this detached thing, and it constructs this dichotomy, this duality, where it's like, here's me, the watcher, and then here's the world of sensations, right? And who I am is the watcher, who I am is consciousness, who I am is the witness of the world. Which is very hard to see that in itself is not true. That this is difficult. This is where people get stuck. It's where I'm stuck, It's like, it's a very pleasant state. It's a lot more spacious to identify as consciousness, to identify as the witness. Like, who I am is consciousness, the witness. And I'm just watching this body talk. I'm just watching this body think and breathe. I'm just watching the world go by, and I'm not any of it, but I am the witness of it, right? It's a very common place to get stuck in on the path of awakening. But it seems to me that there is no separate consciousness. There is no separate witness. It seems to me that everything is infused with consciousness. Everything is made up of consciousness. Right. The witness is just another sensation, another conceptual sensation, and that's very hard to see. We identify as the observer. You see, it's like I identify as the thing that's looking. I identify as the thing that's hearing. I identify as the thing that's feeling. Right, so what most of us on this kind of path get to is that we disidentify from like, how do I say this? I don't know, it's hard. Like, we have this identification that we have things. Like, I have this body. I have these thoughts. I am the one that hears the sounds. I am the one that sees the sights. I'm the one that smells the smells. yeah, I don't know, it's hard, like, it's tricky. Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm at. It's like, things are happening to me, things are happening right in front of me, but it's like, who is that me? You know what I mean? Who is that me? You see, I'm still creating a subtle sense of identity. And the whole point is to disidentify from everything your field of experience, right? And so it's like I'm identified with consciousness, with the witness, the kind of detached observer from experience. But it seems to me there's further you can go. You can go so far that there is no one that's seeing anymore. There's no seer or hearer. There is just seeing, there is just hearing, there is just sound, there is just sight. There is no thinker, there is no haver of thought, there is no owner of thought, there is no owner of body, there is just sensations, and it's happening to nobody. It's happening, it's just happening, and there's nothing that's watching it. There's no consciousness that's watching it. Every sensation is infused with consciousness. And so I sense within me there's still a subtle sense of like, it's me that's aware of the sensations. Me that's aware of the sensations. But who is that me? Who is aware? Who is aware? What is aware? What do I mean by me? So yeah, keep asking yourself. Keep at it.